got stuck in San Francisco, where critical mass, you know, the bicycle people, they got up on the highway. They got up on the bridge. And then just when I was getting ready to cross the bridge, the Highway Patrol directed everybody off of 4th Street. It took me almost 3 hours just to go around the corner to get back up on the bridge. And you know when people say enough is enough, only you know when enough is enough. I got tired of the traffic. I said, that's it, that day. And so the next day I started looking for another job. I opened up the paper, and the Lord blessed me right then and there. I looked right at that first job, and they said they were looking for someone working with children and families for many years, yada, yada. And I applied for this job. Just like that. That day, the Lord said, no worries, I got you. And truly, I really needed to have higher power have me that day because I was in tears. Because I couldn't go on. Because I lived in Danville, and I would travel for 6 years back and forth to San Bruno and all over California. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I was fortunate enough to land this job. And once I really learned the mission and got to know the people where I worked, I said, I'm here to stay. The people here were kind. They were in the community. They were doing the work that keeping families together. It really spoke to my heart. And I, like you, I said, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. This is where I will stay. So that's how I ended up being at the job I'm
at. Yeah, so I've been with City Team now for 4 years in variety of capacities. Like Victor, I came here through the program itself. I graduated the program, became an intern, was working for a housing agency, very familiar with Berkeley Food and Housing Project. I used to work for Abode, loved what I did over there. Same thing as like Victor, didn't know that my road would totally lead here. But I interned for City Team while I was working there, and then opportunity came. Our upper management was slightly changing, and I just decided to go with it. It's still 100% unsure why, but I've been doing this kind of stuff for almost 15 years now. So I think my looks have finally caught up with my age. I used to work with children with disabilities, and I worked in healthcare administration. Then I switched to homeless advocacy, and then all of a sudden I got involved in this. And I'm very proud to work for City Team, to be part of a faith-based organization that has these community outreach ties and all that. And I'm very proud of being able to share this with you guys and with people like Victor as well as a lot of my staff who are also graduates of the program, who have found their niche in unexpected places, and part of that is having here in Oakland.
I kind of have a fun story. Well, I think it's fun anyway. But the Intertribal Friendship House was established in 1955 to serve the needs of the Native American people brought off their reservations to the big cities. So my grandmother was one of the co-founders, the original co-founders. She wanted a place for Native Americans to be able to eat their own foods, practice their ceremonies. Can you imagine being a Native American off a reservation and being dropped here into a city, where you're not used to going to the store to buy your food. You're used to being able to grow it within the land you live on. So my father came off the reservation up in Northern California, Clear Lake Oaks. My mom came from Oklahoma. So fun fact, my parents met at the Intertribal Friendship House. So I would not be here today if it wasn't for that. I went to Hint Hill Preschool at the Friendship House, and I'm a third generation of the Intertribal Friendship House, and I currently serve as a board member. So I'm super passionate about it. I could say that I was born there. I was always there. So I didn't really have a choice. It just kind of, but I love my community, and I love all the services, and I'm so thankful for all the donations that we receive from here. Without your donations, we don't get state funding, we don't get federal funding, so we heavily rely on this type of funding.
This one is a tough one because you have to answer it in one sentence. And the question is, in the work that you do with this organization, what is your greatest joy?
My greatest joy is when I get to see a young man that I might have met 9 months ago, him still alive and free and taking advantage of the services we provide.
My greatest joy is seeing our volunteers come to life through giving back to our community and kids, and the kids growing through those relationships they build with our volunteer network.
Yeah, I think my greatest joy is seeing someone go past from, where they first joined the programs, getting past just the survival stage and into the thriving stage. We just recently hired one of our former clients to work in our kitchen with us, and he's been with us for a long time in various different programs off and on, and it's just amazing to see someone just kind of go through that transformation and get in this position where they really are thriving in their life.
I think my greatest joy with working with the volunteers is just seeing the connectedness in the community and how much people enjoy giving back to the place that they live in, and also the friendships that I've seen between not only the volunteers, but the people who come for Community Meal Weekly, and those relationships are really amazing to see.
My greatest joy is seeing the smiles, whether it's from the elders, the youth, anybody in the community, thriving, and all of the meals that we get to serve them, and everything that we provide to them during Thanksgiving or Christmas. I know I'm going over my one sentence, so I'll pass it on.
Hi. My greatest joy is just being a volunteer. It's, I'm retired. I'm really happy to be doing something that I feel is very useful. Sometimes working wasn't so useful, but certainly being a volunteer is a very useful thing to do. And I feel like I'm contributing to the society I live in.
Yeah, just to dovetail on that, my greatest joy is knowing in a 3-hour shift when I'm volunteering, I'm knowing that I'm going to put 280 to 500 meals somewhere in Alameda County. That's my greatest joy. Sometimes I go home crying over that fact. And sometimes I go home really tired. But there's that joy in both of those things to know that just by doing those 3 hours once a week.
Actually, just the guys I get to work with, they come in my office and they come with their head up, smiles. They share. I did this, Victor. I see a child in them. They're so happy of a simple accomplishment. See them get their license, a job. They share their clean time with me. Just that, those small things, that's it.
I think that, overall my greatest joy is that, I see the fulfillment of our mission, that we provide sobriety, safety, guys get a sense of security, they find jobs, and then they continue to expand. And as you can see between me and Victor, we somehow find our way, right?
Well, it's a simple question, but it's a very difficult question because there's so much that brings me joy with what I do. And I think one of the most things that bring me joy is when I see firsthand that the services we provide to families and children makes a difference. It's like when a parent comes to you, like for example, the food drive, the food we give out, when you put that bag of groceries into a parent's hand and tears just start running down their face and you can just see how happy they are. That brings me joy. That means that we have done our job. That means that we as a community has helped a family. And so it's when we hire someone and they got the job and you can just stand there and see that all the work they put in with filling out the application and the interview and things like that, they got the job. We've made a difference. When the parents bring their children down with cards and letters to tell us we thank you. Thank you for doing this for my family. That brings me joy. So it's a lot. It's more than one thing.
I've been associated with this church since 1969, off and on. And one of the things I'm proud of is this is what we do. And all of us appreciate how much you guys go through and work. And I appreciate the leadership here. Sheila, sometimes Jim, no, Jim, and just this group of volunteers here who do the hunger walk and so on. Sheila, how much did we donate last year? Do you know? 20,000, which I know isn't a lot, but every little bit helps, kind of thing. Last question, and then I'll open up for questions from the audience. I want to say, other than what we do, how do we help you?
Well, for the last years, the help that we've been receiving from Pastor Hopkins with his quarterly meetings at the church, inviting young men who are at the forefront of some of this violence, connecting them to resources there, to supporting us with Thanksgiving dinners for themselves or their families, for Christmas gifts for the young men and their kids. That's saved many lives, have brought many smiles. But you guys spiritually are there, but don't get to see the smiles, right? But that level of support, I could honestly say and feel it with my heart, is that, for one, we're definitely doing God's work, but the impact that's had, that you guys as parishioners and the church have helped to do and save lives has been super spiritual, well felt, and has gone a long way to save lives. So with that, I just want to tip my...
Yeah, I'll just talk about a couple of things that we do that y'all make happen. One is our after-school program, where we have about 50 elementary kids there every day. They come, they get fed a meal right after school. They get to play on a great structure and grass in our backyard, and they get time to work on their homework. And then another is our Christmas store. Every Christmas time, we get gifts. I'm sure y'all have given toys to make it so that people in our community, our neighborhood, can come and shop for presents for their kids at a discounted rate. And, when you asked the joy question, that came to mind, but I kind of felt like, it's just one thing. But it's just joyful seeing kids get Christmas presents and families be able to shop for them. There's a million more things I could say. You could come to one of our events. We have house parties coming up. You can look at our website, various locations, to hear more about what we do.
Yeah, I'll say a specific thing and then a general. So you all donate the turkeys that we use for our holiday meals for our community meal every year, and that really makes a big difference to have a special occasion and to really kind of spread some joy and cheer and bring that part of it. So that's one specific thing, and we're really grateful for that over the years. But I think also one thing that I see is just sort of helping to change hearts and minds for people to have compassion and have understanding for people that are in different kinds of situations. There's a lot of assumptions and misinformation and stereotypes that might go around, and I think that you all are kind of like at the forefront of helping people have compassion and have understanding for these kinds of situations, and offering this support, I think, really goes a long way, and helping other people see those kind of things too. So.
Just want to say, completely agree. Thank you. And it's my first time here. It was really amazing hearing what everybody had to say. And thank you so much for your support.
I just have to piggyback off of everything everyone has said. I mean, the turkey donations and the food bags, seeing people cry when you hand them a bag of food is, I can't tell you how that feels. So again, thank you for your donations. We've, the Christmas time with the kids, the youth during the summer when they don't have any place to go, there's a safe haven for them, and everything that the community is able to do and thrive on because of your donations.
I'm not really sure how to answer the question because as a volunteer, I guess I'm not aware of what the relationship is between this church and our organization. But you obviously are a donor to us. And the fact that you are conducting this meeting once a year speaks very highly of your church, that you were all concerned about helping to solve the problems of hunger in our community. So we certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, same. Just, thank you for coming and getting our food and helping us get it out there, and for your contribution.
Same. This is actually my first time at this meeting, but I've been here to pick up gifts and turkeys here. So your contributions, really, thank you.
Yeah, you guys, the turkeys and the Christmas stuff is amazing every year. And, it's more than that, too, because to go off of what you had said earlier, we don't get that state, federal, or county money, right? So we're completely dependent on people who believe in this mission, right? So, the fact that there are people who believe in it, who depend on it, it provides for our guys, anywhere between 80 and 87 guys a night are off the streets. They're fed, the lights get kept on, they got a place to be safe, and because of donors and folks like yourselves, it's almost impossible. It would be impossible to do.
Well, first of all, foremost, thank you so much for all the support you've given Family Support Services. But I can't leave. I can't be here and not let you know. You ask what you can do to help us out besides the food. We need for you to help us to do outreach. We need to hire more people so we can do more work. We can't do the work without the bodies. We need for you to help us in our outreach services. We'd like to have presentation opportunities. When you have things going on here at the church and you need for us to come out and talk about our program and the services we offer, call us. Let us know. We'll come out once, twice a month, whatever you need. Let us know. But we can't do our work and be effective if we don't have the bodies in place to do the job. So if you can assist us in our outreach efforts, we're hiring right now. We're hiring in-home child care workers. We're hiring bilingual in-home child care workers. We're trying to hire social workers. Please help us do that. We still look forward to seeing you in Christmas and Thanksgiving. Thank you.
I would like for us just to say thank you to all of these people, first of all. The work that you do helps make our city. Questions? Anybody? Jim?
I just wanted to let Jim, sit down.
I defer to Sheila. No, too quick. I mean, appreciates everyone. But Emilio, talk about our homicide numbers going down in Oakland this year, and how's that looking? And Danny, talk about the prayer garden at your place. I just love that. This is very, I mean, when we're talking about data and using data and homicides, going down or et cetera, of course I feel we all as a community and people who support certain strategies feel really good about, right? But I'm also a superstitious person. So I like to wait towards the end of the year to win. But to kind of shed a little light on what is happening based on the strategies that are supported by, Lakeshore Baptist Church and some of the young men and some of the hard work that the Department of Violence Prevention life coaches are doing, some of the strategies, some of the new approaches through working at the facility prior to some of these young men who are allegedly driving some of this violence. The homicide rate has dropped, right? But it's still not enough. The feeling that we are seeing a decline in numbers, of course, it brings that spiritual, that of wanting to just work harder, and when you just exhausted mentally because of outreach or data or reports or what have you, just that the drive that keeps us going and the energy, I think, comes from these type of events, right? Because we know that we're not there alone, right? So then we can reflect back on moments like this and say, well, just when we thought we were alone, we're not. And we're all accountable to each other, right? For the hard work and some of the uplifting that we're doing. So, the homicides are going down. Unfortunately, some of the robberies are going up, but then you kind of weigh, like, there's still victims on either end. But with a lot more perseverance and stubbornness on our part, we're not going to give up. With the support that we have and being in your guys' prayers, it just means a lot, So there's a lot of good work. Data has shown that the last quarter of some significant numbers dropping on multi-level of victimizations and certain shootings, certain areas where they were skyrocketing, some of those numbers decreasing. But let's have this conversation at the end of December 2024.
So about a year ago, we cleared out some brush in the corner of our area and made a prayer garden. And we are a Christian organization. I'm an ordained pastor. I've been a pastor in Oakland for 20 years. But a lot of our kids have no Christian background or faith background, or some are different religions. We have Buddhist kids and Muslim kids. And this garden has been a source of peace for all of our kids. Last summer, our summer camp was pretty much modeled on prayer. And we have scriptures up around the garden, and kids can go there no matter what they believe and just have time to reflect and to meditate and to, commune with God.
I just wanted to thank everyone for just allowing us to assist you, because it takes a village, right, to be able to do what we do. And without all of you guys and your dedication, we couldn't do what we were doing with you. And I appreciate everyone in here who has helped participate with Thanksgiving, with Christmas, because this is a volunteer-based thing. These are beyond and above sometimes what we sponsor throughout the year. So although we might shell out the money that has been contributed to us, to you guys after we do the hunger walk, we give that money to you, your organizations, and St. Mary's, which could not be here because they're meeting with the city right now for violence in their area down on Brockhurst and San Pablo. Without us being able to, without Lakeshore members supporting us for the thing, because family, all those gifts are all contributed from family. These are not even, this is above and beyond our 20,000 we collect. And all the backpacks, all the supplies, all the food donations, I think we contribute hams throughout the year to most of you guys, the city teams, I think we do it 3 or 4 times a year where we're dropping off hams in there. And we have a couple members that basically sponsor that for us. And we appreciate that because we like to thank all you guys here that helped support that. Just because you're not out there and you're not out there, sorry, I wanted to say something else. But anyway, you're not out there. I was going to say something kind of crazy, but I think I will retract that. You guys are not out there, but you make a difference. And you help them make a difference.
And Sheila heads it all up from this side, so she also deserves a hand of applause. Jess, you had a question?
I'm curious, with the kind of crime that I hear about Oakland, have you guys experienced any crime? Have you had to do things to prevent that? And also, what can we do from your perspective to reduce crime other than the police in our great city?
We'll take 3 answers if there's 3 people who want to come at it. Short.
In the last 3 months, I've replaced 2 Cadillac converters, 3 windows to my cars. My rental car was ran in by the perpetrators of one of these incidents. So it's hit home. What we can do as citizens of this city is to keep applying pressure on those individuals who are at the forefront of providing this level of intervention services, whether it's city, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's whoever. I find that people work a lot better under pressure than just funding something and not asking no questions. And I'll just be honest,
It's been really difficult. At our community center, right across the street, there's a 7-Eleven, and in the last 6 months, there's been 2 murders. Right outside on our street, we've got pimps and prostitutes. A lot of people that come to the community center often get their windows broken in. And so it's been really, really hard. We have hired security so that when we have elders lunch or the elders come, we make sure that someone walks them to their cars. But we've got bullet holes through our windows often. We come and luckily it's usually when we come in the morning, so no one had been there during that day, but that's happened often. But it's really frustrating. That community center we actually own, and it's been there since 1955. But we have a question: do we move? But that's been our home for so long, and I think that as a community, we've got a couple of other centers that are right in that area, and we work together to try to help each other, feel safe and do the best we can. But it's been really hard and scary.
So I think that where we're at currently, our building has been broken into. It's been graffitied. Our block cars have been broken into. Some of our guys who live there have been robbed at gunpoint. It's a problem that is everywhere. We understand, but I think I sat on a panel sometime last year about the alternative sentencing programs. And I think that if there was something that could be done and really should be doing is looking into these alternative sentencing programs, because I think us as an organization, we promote that as well. Many of our guys come here from court. Many of them have violent cases or they have robberies and burglaries and things like that, and we're given the opportunity to expand and change their lives. When we continue to force them into lockup and we continue to force them into rudimentary programs that aren't very effective, then I think that we're losing a good shot at stopping this epidemic, in the sense that, we have the opportunity to change it at the ground level because we're right there with them. And I think oftentimes it gets overlooked by the Justice Department at times, and as well as the city.
thank you all for this. You can stay around and talk with people if you'd like. I'd like to sort of close with prayer. I'm grateful, God, for the gifts that we bring and the gifts that are given to us, for the lives of people who give of their time and their energy, for all these ministries to help your children. Thank you for these ambassadors that do so much. Amen.